We were just talking about my friend Mitchell Jones and his brother Desmond, and my sister was friends with Penny Jones. You might have to stop that, Dad, because it'll just make too much noise and they won't hear your voice. The father got Christmas eye.
Yes, Christmas eye, as I understand it, is endemic to Canberra. I've never heard of it anywhere else. I've never heard it discussed by anybody else. But Christmas eye, you'd be walking along and suddenly your eye would feel like, as I understand it, like it had been stabbed with a hot knife. And the secret with Christmas eye was to go to the oldest doctor you could find in Canberra. If they were in their 70s and still operating, he'd be the guy you'd be looking for, because very few people had ever heard of Christmas eye. And if it's not treated properly, you lose the eye. There's just no two ways about it. It's gone. And this chap, Mitchell Jones' father, I forget his first name, he got this thing in his eye, and he was telling me about it. I said, "Oh, you know what? You've got a Christmas eye." I said, "There's an old guy in Turner. Give him a ring. Tell him you believe you've got Christmas eye." And about a month later, I ran into him, and that was fixed. I don't know exactly what this guy did, but he knew what it was, and that was the main thing, was that it was treated the right way. You didn't just put what they used to call golden eye ointment. You didn't use that, and you didn't use any normal sort of thing that might burn. Or I just do not know what the treatment was. I only know that if you just go to an ordinary GP who's just he would not know what he's dealing with.
How did you know that Mr. Jones had Christmas eye? It was just a hunch. And how long he had the eye injury? Do you remember? Because do you know how long? Hold on, I've got another question. How long does it take for you to lose your eye with Christmas eye? So yeah, he was really lucky.
Oh, he was so lucky, because he'd had it for about a week, I believe. I think another week it would have been gone.
Wow.
But he'd gone there. He'd had patches put on. He had all this stuff. I said, "Thank God you've seen me and that I know what it is." And all he was doing was just walking along and bang. It just hits like a sledgehammer. Well, that's a description I've had. It just hits you. It doesn't knock you off your feet, but it's like a big hit to the eye.
Do you remember why or how you had heard of Christmas eye in the first place?
I used to work with CSIRO, and I'd only been there for about 2 weeks when this guy came in with a patch on his eye, and he told me that he had Christmas eye. I said, "What's Christmas eye?" He said, "Well, they don't know whether it's a bug or it's a what do you call it?
Grass or a pollen,
or a bit of pollen, or just something in the air. It might even be some sort of a virus or whatever. I don't know, but he had the patch on for a week, and then he was right. He was fixed."
And he'd gone to the guy at Turner as well, or?
Oh yeah, he'd gone to the guy at Turner. And I always remembered that the guy existed, and that he was an older man, and he certainly knew what he was doing. He'd lived in Canberra for sort of 50 years and knew what it was. So it must have been a common thing, but it had to be periodic. Every so often somebody'd get it, and they'd either suffer the penalty or go to this guy or go to one of his mates, because his older mates would have known about it too.
Yeah, right. So it's only old doctors. Yeah. All right, that's very interesting. I'm glad Mr. Jones kept his eye.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder if he's still alive now. I hope so.
I had only heard of other people having lost theirs.
Yeah.
I never ever saw it. Otherwise, I'd have said, Christmas eye, go and get it fixed. I'd have, whether I knew the people or not, I'd have said, I know what your problem is, get it fixed. You're going to lose that eye. But no, they would lose it. No two ways about it. Just like being hit by a hammer.
Oh, maybe through this video, Penny or one of them might hear about it and they might think, oh, good old Mr. Abbey saved our dad's eye.
Well, I don't need thanks for it. What I need is for people like Penny to say, this is what happened to my dad and what you have to do. If you get this, any signs of this Christmas eye, you just happen to be walking along and suddenly you're hit with a sledgehammer in the eye, you go to the oldest doctor you can find and maybe they'll know.
Yeah, right.
Actually, we should look that up in the internet sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the only member of the Jones family still in Canberra, as I understand it, is Desmond, and he owns a paint shop in Tuggeranong. I'm not it's down in it's not in Tuggeranong Square, but it's the square with the Salvation Army and all that in it. And I'm trying to think what the brand name is, but anyway, if anyone needs some paint, look for Desmond Jones and buy some paint off him. They've always been a good family, in my opinion. There was definitely, I had a lot of fun with Mitchell in primary school and high school too. And my sister also enjoyed the company of Penny a lot too, so good family, and I'm sure he runs a fair business. Yep.